Hello, thank you for clicking the link and welcome to the Warren Christmas Village channel. If this is your first time here, then welcome to the shenanigans. And if you're back for more, then we must be doing something right. For today's video, I'd like to discuss taking a typical location in Dungeons & Dragons for Session 0 or your first session where the players meet up and putting a little twist on it. In my recent campaign that we just started, the players didn't start in the tavern, they started below the tavern, because they work there and the boss had them doing inventory. I also gave them a bunch of gossip cards, which some of them had good information and some of them had false information, and they quickly learned that Winifred is the work gossip. I put out a post on Facebook looking to start a D&D game, and I got a lot of responses back, so I'm now beginning a campaign. And I'm an old school D&Der, so we're basically starting in what is an old AD&D module called the Village Hommlet. It's basically a town setting, and it works great for a sandbox situation. A lot of D&D campaigns start in the tavern. I love people starting in the tavern. It's a great way to start. And I also enjoy when you're just dropped into the middle of the action. For instance, the shipwreck happens, or you wake up in the prison, or you open up the book and step into a page and end up at the wizard's tower by his invite. Stuff like that. I love those as well. But so what I decided to do was take the inn, and instead of meeting in the inn, met below the inn, and they had to, while they were doing inventory. So we'll see how long it takes the players to leave town. It's sandbox, so they can stay working at the inn if they want, or choose to go do other things, like maybe look at the caverns of chaos. The module that we're using to play this game is the T1 Village Hommlet module from 1979. This is a classic, it's a great layout for a town, and it has great sandbox options. The players work at the Inn of the Welcome Wench, which is the central point of downtown Hommlet. I've changed the owner of the inn. The owner is now a woman called the Wench, who is retired from adventuring, and she used her profits from venturing to buy the inn. Apparently, according to legend, there isn't a lock she can't pick or a riddle she can't solve. And she's a bawdy, middle-aged human. So we'll see what happens with the players. Instead of starting in the typical tavern, I put the players in the basement of the tavern, doing inventory for their boss, and I gave them a bunch of gossip cards, some of which had truthful information and some of them which did not have truthful information. A few of them also found a few objects in the dining area, which gives some clues as to what's going to go wrong in town. But I'm going to level them up a little bit first, and we'll go from there. During Session 0, and they were in the cellar, I heard some scratching noises behind a giant keg that looked like it had never been moved since the building had been built. One of them discovered it was actually a secret door to a ready room stocked with weapons, and then they also found some giant rats and a were-rat who had apparently also found the location as well. So we started our Session 0, and I just wanted to go through a run-through of all the players I have. I've got a huge table. I've got 7 players, and I've never handled that many before. But since we are playing 5th edition, I think it'll be a lot easier. I'd also like to mention the range of folks D&D's experience. Myself and Annette, we started playing D&D in the 80s, and so we have experience with the AD&D, and I also did Basic and the Expert set, which came out around the same time. We've got 2 players who I introduced to Pathfinder 3.5, and they've done a few games of that. And then I've got a guy who's familiar with 5th edition, and I have 3 new players to D&D period, and one of them is 7. I've never had a kid player. So anyway, that's not the scope of this discussion. I just wanted to give you guys a little background of the people I'm playing with, the folks. Today I want to talk about atypical locations to start the game with. We are playing in the Village Hommlet, which has an inn in the middle of the town called the Inn of the Welcome Wench. So I've taken the narrative and changed that over. The inn is now owned by a woman, and her name is the Wench. She's a retired rogue. She's a bawdy woman with ties to the underground, and all the players work and live and stay at the inn. So part of their background is to pick what their job is. So for session 0, we had a little time left over after character generation to start off the adventure. For the players' first session, they didn't start in the tavern, they started below the tavern. I thought, why not give it a twist? The boss had them doing inventory when they heard scratching noises coming from what appeared to be a full keg of some kind of liquid. So the players went to go investigate the keg, and lo and behold, it was hollow and had a secret passageway behind it. Upon opening up the secret passage, they saw some giant rats that started hissing at them. A couple attacked a party member, and soon the players had turned into exterminators and had gotten rid of all the giant rats. They entered a secret room and discovered that it was a ready room from when the times of war had been going on. They found a cache of weapons, and they also found a were-rat who apparently had just discovered the secret room as well. The players chased off the were-rat, who escaped down a tunnel on the opposite end of the ready room. Having witnessed the players quickly vanquish all of his giant rat friends, the were-rat escaped down a tunnel on the opposite side of the ready room. The players lingered in the ready room for a while and then decided to pursue the were-rat and see what was up. The tunnel led them down to a dead end with a ladder going straight up to a manhole. The adventuring party decided to climb the ladder, open up the manhole, and ended up in the orchard behind the inn. Margaret the mare had wandered into the area again, and soon enough they had popped up into the orchard, which is located directly behind and north of the inn. Margaret the mare had escaped again and was eating some of her apples. And that's where we left off with session 0. And we're going to see what happens and what they do. So yeah, I'll just be keeping a little update on what's going on, and have a good one.